Subsidiarity is not exclusive to democracy, representative republics, or parliamentary republics. Subsidiarity can be executed in many systems of governance, including hereditary monarchies. This is why Christ did not call out a specific form of governance, because he knew that many forms of governance are feasible so long as subsidiarity is observed. History has shown us that a godly man can reign as a king, living as a humble servant to his people. In the Old Testament, good kings included Asa, Hezekiah, and Josiah. In modern times, King St. Louis IX of France, King St. Stephen I of Hungary, and King St. Casimir of Poland are examples of godly monarchs who ruled in a spirit of subsidiarity. As a corollary, democratic or representative republic systems do not guarantee subsidiarity if infiltrated and usurped by godless, power-hungry, money-grubbing, moral degenerates like Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, Hillary Clinton, Charles Schumer, Lindsey Graham, John McCain, and all the rest. Those systems will lead to totalitarianism and ultimate collapse. That is what we are seeing happen right now. This is also why the so-called Arab Spring is no such thing. The totalitarianism of the Islamic political system, elevated to power though it may be by democracy, is still totalitarianism. So long as Islam is the driving force behind any form of government, that government is satanic by definition, and by definition will destroy the people within it. Don't kid yourself. The Arab Spring is the Arab winter because that's all it can ever be. The Catholic Church and many Protestant sects as well today have been infiltrated and infested by Marxists. There is still a remnant remaining, but please understand that the infiltration and rot is deep. Any Catholic, from a lay person all the way up to an archbishop or cardinal, who proclaims Marxism and ratifies the concentration of power in the state to redistribute wealth by force, or to elevate the importance of the collective above the dignity of the individual, is a dirty, satanic liar, period, end of story. And that goes not just for Catholics, but any Christian or Jew, because the concept of subsidiarity was revealed at the foot of Mount Sinai, recorded in the Torah, and demonstrated par excellence by Christ crucified on Calvary. The argument that Christ's call to love and serve the poor is to be achieved by dehumanizing the individual and installing a totalitarian state is satanic, serpentine manipulation. You filthy Marxist scum have been twisting and perverting the gospel into this satanic filth for decades. And you know what? I'm ending it right here and right now. You cannot be both a Christian or an observant Jew and a Marxist. Specifically to Christians now. You cannot advocate a satanic system of governance while claiming to be preaching the gospel of Christ. No, you have to pick. It's either Marxism or Christ. And so, to Jeremiah Wright, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, the majority of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, the majority of the Jesuit Order, the majority of the United Methodist Church, the majority of the Presbyterian Church USA, the majority of the Evangelical Lutheran Church, the majority of the Episcopalian Church, what little is left, and of course the ironically named Disciples of Christ and United Church of Christ, and all of the others. Choose. Choose now. It is either Christ or Marx. If you choose Christ, great. Praise the Lord. If you choose Marx in even the smallest way, and we all know that you will, pack your bags and get out. And we'll be praying for you and your conversion and your return to the fold as authentic Christians. But your days of squatting in the church are over. Finally, I would like to lay out my 3-point tactical plan should the Marxist Islamic poop hit the proverbial fan, which I'm afraid is all but inevitable at this point. In this portion, I would like to focus once again especially on the Jews in the audience. So far, we have established how Israel has been the proxy for humanity throughout salvation history. Understanding that as we do, we can now see that to hate Israel is to hate humanity itself. All we need do to confirm this is look at where the locus of anti-Semitism exists in today's world. There are two main loci today, Marxism and Islam. Both of these political systems have at their core an intrinsic hatred of the individual man. Both mask this seething hatred by wrapping themselves in a false cloak of collectivism, manifested in the call for Marxist class warfare and Islamic jihad. Both systems use the Jews as their primary scapegoat and whipping boy, blaming all problems in the world on Jews, and then calling for the final solution to the stumbling block to utopia that is the Jewish race. From the Quran to Mein Kampf, the rhetoric is exactly the same. Exterminate the Jews so that utopia can be achieved. But what this is at its core is a call to exterminate humanity itself, which is the ultimate goal of both Marxism and Islam. If the Jews are exterminated, the rest of humanity will follow quickly, because if the Jews are exterminated, that means there are no longer any people of goodwill on earth who could see and understand the representative quality of humanity itself in Israel. No one would be left to take up the banner of Christ and the church militant to march against the forces of evil in defense of not just Israel, but all human life on earth. It is essential to approach, understand, and see this coming war with the forces of evil through that lens. I recently saw a video of an Islamic execution taped in the Middle East. In it, 3 condemned men were bound hand and foot standing beside an incinerator or furnace. The men were doused with an accelerant, presumably gasoline, and then were thrown alive into the incinerator, where they could be seen writhing in flames as they died in the furnace. These men were not Jews, but that's beside the point. They were human beings who ran afoul of Sharia law. This is what is coming. This and executions like this are the inevitable destination of both Islam and Marxism. Hitler had his ovens. Stalin had his gulags, Mao had his execution quotas, the Khmer Rouge had their killing fields. And so here is what I say to all people of goodwill, but specifically today to the Jews. If a second Holocaust begins, and you find yourself standing bound on the precipice of an incinerator, I'm coming. My first tactical objective will be to come in, guns a-blazing, and rescue you, and we'll both get out of there and hopefully take a bunch of bad guys out in the process. That's objective number 1. If that doesn't work, and I am unable to free you by force of arms, I will negotiate with the evil executioners to switch places with you. I will offer to be executed in your place so long as you are freed. That is tactical objective number 2. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to stay and die with you. There is no possible way that I'm going to turn my back on you as you stand on the precipice of the incinerator, walk away, and let you die alone and afraid, and then congratulate myself on my ability to handle and survive the situation. No. I'm going to stand beside you, I'm going to throw my arms around you, and I'm going to hold you and tell you that I love you. I am going to make certain that the last sounds you hear ringing in your ears on this earth are the sounds of a friend telling you that you are loved, and that you are precious, and that you are not, never have been, and never will be alone. And then we will go into the incinerator together. Because I can't think of a better way to die, with the words I love you on my lips. That is tactical objective number 3. And now one final question. Do you honestly believe that Barack Obama or Nancy Pelosi or Harry Reid or John Kerry or any of the Hollywood people or Michael Moore, or Keith Olbermann, or Joy Behar, or any of the people who would call me a venomous, hate-spewing bigot, would stay and die with you if it came down to that? Of course they wouldn't, and we all know this. But I am the hate monger. I am the bigot. I am the danger to society. Ladies and gentlemen, Western civilization has officially jumped the shark. The words, "I love you," delivered in sincere Christian charity, are now a hate crime that warrants the suppression of free speech. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Barnhardt, and I love you.